Hello and welcome to another episode of the Black Dog Sports Podcast. I am your host, Arthur Hosey Jr. of the class of 2008. And I really have to cough right now when I started talking, but I'm going to fight through it. Um,
Let it out,
I'm
man.
joined by co-host Derek Thomas, and he's the only person that's with me tonight. So, Derek, what's on your mind tonight?
Oh man, I'm chilling, man. Watching. Well, it's on pause now. Watching one of my favorite movies, Police Academy, Part 6, right now. Then after the show, we're gonna watch the men take on Texas A&M. So
Wait a second, what you mean I'm not on mute? You know what? It don't even matter. Okay.
who
So,
said you're not on mute?
yeah, yeah, I thought that I was on mute, but I'm not. Anyway,
No, you're
all
not
right,
on mute.
so we starting off with women's basketball, okay?
All right.
We getting down to the nitty gritty. All right. So, um, should we be concerned that we had a close win against Ole Miss? I'm gonna let you go first, and then you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna give my thoughts. You figure deal on me.
Um, I mean, I guess you could say yes and no. I mean, even though we have I guess you could say a lot of players returning, we do have our new coach and coach Nikki McCray Penson. And she's still, getting the team to play how she wants them to play. But this isn't the same old Miss team last year. They added a lot of transfers. What does bother me is the 5-star young lady, I can't remember her name right now. She didn't even play last night, and they were missing another player last night also. So this wasn't Ole Miss at their best. So for us to only beat them by I think what 4 points, I mean, I guess you could say, yeah, concerned because of all the talent that we have. I mean, we have two all ACC selections. We have two of the best bench players, Mingo Young and Matthew. They could easily be starting anywhere else in the SEC, especially Matthew, because she saved us against Ole Miss. Because Raquel was struggling. So yeah, it did bother me to see us struggle, to see when our star players struggled. She was like 3 for 13 against Ole Miss. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want to, that kind of gave the later Rebels or the Rebels fan hope that, oh, they finna surpass Mississippi State in such short time with Coach Yo. Rick Cleveland wrote an article saying that the women's basketball rivalry is back. It's just one game though, So we don't even have a full roster yet. So when Coach McCray Penson gets her full roster, gets all those 3 and 4 star, and hopefully some 5-star recruits coming in, we're gonna still beat up on the Lady Rebels pretty much. I don't think they're going to lose to them at all. I hadn't lost to them in since 2014. So I don't see it happening anytime soon now. As long as we continue doing what we got to do. But that 4 point win, yeah, it does kind of bother me because we had them to the point to where we could have beat them by double digits and we let them claw back in the game. I mean, this isn't your average or below average Ole Miss Lady Rebel squad that we've been beating up on for an average over 20 points a game. Like this past, when we just beat them. So we got to really make sure we play them like, like we're playing against a top tier team because they have a lot of talent. They just don't know how to play together yet, kind of like us sometimes.
Okay.
Bless you.
So thank you. So I believe that what we saw on Sunday was a confluence of two things. Okay. The first thing is that I went to actually, this is back when the pandemic first really kind of started. I went to the Mississippi State Ole Miss game that was at Ole Miss. And Ole Miss played us pretty good. Now, I'm going to also point out that Aaliyah Matharu is an Ole Miss killer because she had like 20 something points in that game. And that game right there could have been dicey had she not stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they played us pretty good that game. And to be honest with you, I felt as though that I would not have been, I came into that game not expecting us to lose, but if we had lost, I wouldn't have been shocked because number one, Ole Miss is playing some good basketball. This is clearly not your, I guess, your older brothers Ole Miss women's basketball team, and it
Well,
definitely
this
ain't
this
no.
isn't Pugsley's team anymore. You
Yeah,
mean
who's the dude who looked like the guy from the Monsters, Eddie
like
Monster, whoever that guy
Matt
was.
something, Matt McKenzie something? I can't remember his
I
name.
don't
Yeah,
know.
it looks like
He was a guy who got the job because of his daddy anyway, but whatever. Um, he is not, it's not Ole Miss basketball under him. Even though I will say this, Ole Miss has some ballers under him.
they
What
did.
the girl? Tia Falaru, I think it was.
I, well, here's the thing. Before Promise Taylor got hurt, her true freshman year, she was a baller.
Yeah, Valencia McFarland from out of Raymond. They had some hoopers on their team. They definitely had some hoopers on their team. Um, Now Mississippi State, the way that we have been playing, we were well on our way to blowing them out. But it seems like we'll get up on the team like we did the same thing against Kentucky. We start out
Hmm.
good, we start peaking, and then it's like when we get a good lead, they go into a lull and they take their foot off the gas. And they let the team hang around, let the team hang around, let the team hang around. Then it'll be like we'll be up by 15, and then there's like the other team will have a 2-pointer here, a 3-pointer there, a 2-pointer here, and the next thing you know, you look up and the scores in single digits, and you kind of like whatever. And
That's
then
how it was against Ole
yeah,
Miss.
then we'll stop scoring. Same thing happened in Kentucky. And it's always like some player on the other team steps up. Now, what I am going to say, I'm gonna say that the later. You know where I'm going with this, but I'm gonna save it for later. All right. So, second topic with women's basketball: should Coach Nikki McCray Penson make any lineup changes? And according to a post that somebody made in Jean's page, should she make a wardrobe change?
You know what? I, I, the wardrobe change. You know what?
Don't say it.
No, man, we need to be. Man, they got COVID going on. Who really cares about wardrobe right now? You want to be comfortable and COVID free. And I haven't really paid attention to this, but the new guy who's right with me on Moonlight Nation, Spencer Wright, he said Coach um Howland hasn't worn a suit all season. And he always is GQ on the sideline. So really right now, who really cares if they're dressed up on the sideline? You know what I'm saying? Who really cares? Right now, you trying to win ball games and stay COVID free. As far as lineup changes, don't get me wrong. I know Sydney Cooks is a good shooter. I know she is. She's streaky. I really feel like we should go with Jessica Carter being of course the center, and I think we should start Madison Hayes, and then let Rakia move to the place where Cooks plays. Because right now Cooks could serve as a backup center. Because she's 6'4", need to use that height. I just feel like she'd be better coming off the bench. Let Madison start. I'm not saying it just because Miss Hayes is up watching right now.
You're
I
saying
really want to
she's
see
watching right.
Madison break out. She had her highest score point total 13 points a couple games ago. When she gets in the game, she brings energy, she brings toughness and rebounding. She needs the opportunity to become a scorer, you know, and she's another weapon that you can utilize to wear teams down. And then you can bring Sydney Cooks off the bench to spell Jessica, and then you still have Emmanuel Morris also on the bench. I know a lot of people saying, "Oh, we're bringing in all these guards and forwards." Man, look, the SEC they run. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be athletic, and I just think Madison Hayes brings something. Even though she's 4 inches shorter than Sydney Cooks, I just feel she brings a different type of energy. I also feel like maybe you should start Aaliyah Matharu over Maya Taylor. Don't get me wrong, Matharu brings you a scoring punch off of the bench, but she definitely needs to. She's earned the right to start. You know, she has been, like you said, a rebel killer. She has been that spark we have needed off the bench. Let her start. She deserves it.
Okay. Uh, so I'm gonna go ahead and look at my handy dandy rooster right now. Okay. I know it's supposed to be roster, but whatever. Okay. So if it were me at the 5, of course I'm gonna go with Of course I'm
Jessica
gonna go
Carter.
with why is her name escaping me right now?
Jessica Carter.
Jessica Carter. Okay. At 5, Jessica Carter. Now at the and Sydney Cooks. Is Sydney Cooks a starter?
Yeah, she starts. She
Why?
starts at the 4.
Why? 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 For what? And don't get me wrong, she seems like a nice young lady. I follow her on social media, and she has a good spirit. You know how you see a person you ain't never met them or nothing like that, but a person have a good spirit is one of those things that you can feel even through social media. She hadn't really given us anything except for
That one game when she hit all those threes.
yeah, like shooting a bunch of threes. She hardly ever make any of them. And, she's somebody who needs to come in off the bench or something. She needs to work her way into that starting roles. I know that she was this, that, and the other, but what have you done for me lately? That is what it is. Okay. So her at the 5 with Rakia Jackson, and I'm going to get into this later, put her at the 4. First of all, you would never convince me that Rakia Jackson is actually 6'2", because when she's in the game, she don't look that much shorter than Jessica
That much
Carter, who's
taller.
supposed to be 6'5". So my question is Jessica Carter not actually 6'5", or is it that is she shorter than 6'5", or is it that Rakia Jackson is
It's
taller than
taller than
6'2"?
6'2".
Because in my opinion, if she's actually taller than 6'2", then you would have people start trying to put her into the post, and that's probably not where she wants to be. But yeah,
No,
that's
it's
neither
not.
here nor there. But I feel as though that much like with Victoria Vivians, who took a lot of bad shots, when she got put into the power forward position, then number one, she was forced to take better, higher percentage shots because of where she was on the court. And number two, if she's playing at power forward, she's going to be more athletic than anybody else who is playing power forward, which gives her a better opportunity, to make better shots and things like that. So at the 3, which is supposed to be shooting guard, but I mean small forward, but whatever. I believe that Madison Hayes there would be good at the I would say that right now, best case scenario starting, which I wouldn't have a problem with, I wouldn't be opposed to, because to me, most of the other players aren't actually giving us anything. Uh but definitely she needs an increased role, because there's something about when she's in the game, toughness, rebounding,
Hustle.
size. Yeah, she is the embodiment of the attitude that I want the whole team to have. She is that, like, when we were going to the Final Fours, and it was always like we lacked a certain mental toughness, intestinal fortitude. It was like all the girls are too busy trying to be on Beautiful Ballers and, doing this type of stuff with their eyebrows and whatever. And she seems like she's ready to go out there and, get her hands dirty. And that's the attitude that we need. Um, at the 2, controversial pick for me, but whatever. Jemiah Mingo Young, and in my opinion, Jemiah Mingo Young hadn't given us anything this season, really.
Yes, she has. She has.
She given us something, but not anything to write home about. I'll put it that way. But I'm gonna tell you why I want her in as the starter at the 2, because running the point, I want Aaliyah Matharu, and I feel like Aaliyah Matharu, when Aaliyah Matharu and Jemiah Mingo Young are in the game at the same time, I feel as though that they really feed off of each other. Much the way that, say, Reggie Perry wasn't quite the same whenever Lamar Peters wasn't in the game. And Lamar Peters wasn't really a distributor unless Reggie Perry was in the game. Nobody seemed to be able to give him that that pass down low quite the way that Lamar Peters could. Whenever they were in together, both of their numbers were like through the roof. So, and the thing is that a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, in my opinion, is stuff that I've been thinking since last year. In my opinion, Aaliyah Matharu was ready to take the reins at the point guard position last year around the time where SEC time started. Because for the most part, like somebody said, with Maya Taylor, her numbers always look something like, 4 assists, 6 points, and 4 personal fouls or something like that. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that she's a bad player or anything like that. But at the same time, I just feel as though that Aaliyah Matharu is a more dynamic player. And everybody keeps saying Maya Taylor back in high school, and you know
She
how it is.
was.
You
I
know,
was a big fan
I
of
mean,
her.
do not get me wrong. I am 100% certain that she is a Mississippi high school legend, but I hadn't seen any of this alleged explosiveness that everybody keeps talking about at Mississippi State. Is it because Vic Schaefer coached it out of her? Probably. You know, not gonna lie, probably. But at this moment in time, I feel as though that there is nothing that she gives us that if you put even if Aaliyah Matharu committed one more turnover a game or had a couple fewer assists, which she has demonstrated that she can competently handle the rock, bring it up the court, and she's a dynamic scorer. And it's
Hmm.
like, is the quote unquote calm, the alleged calm that Maya Taylor brings to the game, is it worth having that dynamic play on the bench? I don't know. So, but there's a lot of people who are smarter than me and who get paid a lot more than me who make those decisions.
Right.
But I will say that there are a lot of times where it seems like Coach McCray be like, go ahead, log out. She tap Maya Taylor on the shoulder, be like, go ahead, log out for me, honey. So, comment so far on player progress. What you got for me, Derek?
Well, I mean, I really expected Rakia to be more consistent. I mean, uh, it just hasn't happened yet. Now, Jessica Carter has been the epitome of consistency. I mean, she had a 25-point outing, 19 points outing against Ole Miss. I mean, she needs to be our number one option. Give it to her in the paint. Let her work. You know, Rakia. I like seeing Rakia slash into the basket. Yeah, she has the ability to shoot the three, but sometimes her shot just doesn't fall. So I really feel like, between last year and this year, Jessica Carter has taken a step forward. Rakia has kind of taken a step back. Matharu has taken a step forward. And Maya Taylor is really, I mean, she's scoring more. She had 10 points, 8 assists against Ole Miss, but those were quiet 10 points. I mean, she played 39 minutes. Matthew only played 27 minutes, and Matthew outscored her. So, yeah, so I really feel like, as far as player progress, Rakia's kind of taking a step back, and we really need her to take 2, 3 steps forward for the talent that she is, and the hype that surrounds her as being our best player.
Okay, so I a certain person, I'm gonna go ahead and say Riri McCarter or whatever her name is. She thinks that I say that Rakia Jackson is quote unquote trashy. And just because I am critical of a player does not mean that I think that they trash. Quite contrary, I think that Rakia Jackson is an excellent player, but I
She
would
is.
like to see her reach her full potential. Before the Kentucky
Yes.
game, I'm a numbers guy. I'm one of those people where, they teach me how to do research and they taught me how to do how to look at statistics and stuff like that. So I was looking at the stats. This was before the Kentucky game, and it was like Rakia Jackson had less rebounds than I think like Jessica Carter, which duh. She also had like I think 12 less rebounds than what the girl name is. She had 8 less rebounds than Madison Hayes, who isn't on the court nearly as much as she is, nor is she playing closer to the basket or anything like that. And she had 12 less rebounds than Jemiah Mingo Young. And I'm like, how do you let a player who is listed at what 5'7" or something like that? But we know that girl ain't 5'7". How do you let somebody that's that much smaller than you and is also a guard have 12 more rebounds than you? Also, when I was looking at the field goal percentage, she shot more field goals than anybody else, but had the lowest field goal percentage of anybody on the team, not named Charlotte Cole, and she had taken more threes than anybody else on the team, but she had a lower 3-point percentage than anybody on the team, not named Charlotte Cole, out of the people who had attempted threes, because there's a couple of people on the team who hadn't even tried a three. So I feel as though that last year that there was this attempt to get Rakia Jackson going and to run the offense through her, so much so that it was to the detriment of what we know works, which is, Johnny Harris working with the big girls, getting them in the paint, get them the ball in the paint, and let them
Let them
score.
work.
But yeah, let them go to work. And they had gotten away from that, and the team had turned into the Rakia Jackson show. And my thing is this: is that if we don't figure something out, if she gets going, great. But right now, it's kind of this volume shooter type of deal. And if we don't do something about it, I'm afraid that it's going to turn into one of those Texas A&M Kennedy Carter type of situations where, yeah, you got this star player, and the star player is scoring all these points and stuff like that, but she went like 9 of 26 to get those 20 points, and it was pretty much to the detriment of the team. So people always say Rakia Jackson, she scored X amount of points in the game, but I'm like, it was empty calories, in my opinion. The way I think they're kind of getting away from it a little bit, but at one point, they had drank that Rakia Jackson Kool-Aid just a little bit too much, just a
Well,
smidgen.
well, let's look at her stats compared to a full season to 10 games last year. Just looking at her shooting percentage is down from 48 to 40%. 3-point shooting down from 41% to 34%. Free throw shooting down set from 72 to 60%. So she's regressing. She's regressing. And the thing is, I know the styles of play are different. Here's the thing: she made 13 out of 31 3-pointers all of last year. She's 15 to 44 this year through 10 games. So Coach McCray Piston is giving her a freedom to shoot. And I really feel like instead of throwing up all those threes or throwing up those unbalanced or those low percentage jumpers, attack the basket. Use your quickness, use your length to slash past the defender, because she has terrific quickness. So I really feel like you shouldn't just settle for those jumpers like that. Attack the basket, take the low percentage shot. You want to make the most of your field goal attempts. Because a lot of our shots, they're like off balanced, rushed shots, and not just her. A couple other ladies rushed their shots. So, but for her to be our star player, if you just look at her percentages, they've gone down.
And something else that I was thinking about is that, I say that, in much like I said about Victoria Vivian's,
Uh-oh.
they have a bit of a problem showing up in games where we're not playing teams with directions in their name or the name of a city. So they're like, oh, you say that she did whatever, whatever, but in a Troy game, she did whatever, whatever, whatever. And I'm like, it was Troy. I'm like,
Right.
no matter what anybody says, it's not like Troy is, the South, the Sun Belt Conference is not exactly the murderer's row or anything like that. So they're like, what are you expecting out of her? She's doing the best that she can. And if we don't run the offense through her, then who should we run it through? And I'm
Jessica
like,
Carter.
yeah, exactly. That's what I said, Jessica Carter. And I'm like, the thing is this, if people like, well, what do you expect her to do? I'm like, what I expect from Rakia Jackson is what I saw out of Ryan Howard, where against a team that was, I think we were number 12 in the nation or something like that at that moment.
We were number 12. They were number 13.
Single-handedly
Willed them to that
ripped
victory.
our heart from out of our chest. Her and her alone. She didn't really do anything in the first half of the game. But when the game was on the line, when it mattered the most, she personally had one foot on our neck and the other foot on the shovel. Okay? in the fourth quarter and in that overtime, she personally killed us. Meanwhile, Rakia Jackson, you like I said, you can go look this stuff up, okay? Don't take my word for it. Go look it up on ESPN. It was like, Rakia Jackson turnover, Rakia Jackson missed jumper, Rakia Jackson missed three-pointer. For whatever reason, it seems like, in those moments, this great player that we have, in the biggest moments, she was never around. She's never around. Like in the Ole Miss game, when things started getting out of hand, it wasn't Rakia Jackson.
It was Matthew.
Yeah, it was Aaliyah Matharu. Just like I say, but I'm not supposed to be shading anybody right now, but I will say this. Kind of like I said about Victoria Vivians. I'm not saying that she was a bad player or anything like that. But you think about those Final Four runs, what do you think of? You think about what the girl name is? She was on the best. She had the baby by RJ Reddy.
I can't remember her name.
Oh God. And I follow her. I follow her on Snapchat. Oh God. Anyway, you think about her in the shot against, was it Louisville or Syracuse? One of them. It doesn't matter. You think about Itty Bitty and the 44 points against Baylor. You think about Itty Bitty
and the shot against UConn.
And even
Kathy said that was Roe. Was it Roshonda?
Yeah, Roe Johnson. Yeah, you think about her shot. You think about stuff like that. But when the game is on the line, in the big moments, Victoria Vivians don't have any of those signature moments. Now, that's not to say that she, didn't have her, she had her time, but, like, I never forget the duel that she had against, I can't remember who it was, but, like, it was her freshman year against Kentucky when she had, like, 40-something points. We lost the game, but, she was a gamer, you know what I'm saying? Like, and especially her senior year when they moved to Power 4, oh, yeah. So I'm not saying.
So basically, we need to do what her like Vic did with Victoria, move Rakia to the power forward.
Exactly.
Just Kevin Jones come in. Matthew is a scorer off the bench, which we need. I don't mind her not starting. I definitely think Hayes should start over Cooks. She brings a lot of energy and skill. Rakia is probably our most talented player, but she misses too many shots. She has to be more efficient for us. He'd like to see Hayes and Matthew get more shots on the perimeter. Here's the thing: when Madison gets in the game, she doesn't take as many shots as I would like for her to see. Take. She gets her rebound, she passes, she plays defense. So she's
Dominique Dillingham.
Yeah, but she has way more
with more size.
She has way more ability than Dillingham. I
Of
mean, Madison
course,
Hayes,
but you know, but
5-star
Dylan,
prospect.
but you know,
I'm
Dylan,
waiting for her to.
but
I'm
Dylan,
waiting
you
for
know,
her to
Dylan
blow up and
gets
have that
hurt.
30-point game. I'm just waiting for it. She has it, and I'm just waiting for it to happen.
And don't get me wrong, I know that Dominic Dillingham wasn't like a scorer, she wasn't very skilled. But when I compare Madison Hayes to Dominic Dillingham, I mean it with all due respect. Um, because I mean you need players like that, and then she's skilled also. So that means that she has a chance to do something great. But like Dominic Dillingham senior year, somehow, some way, she turned into a 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
It
I
wasn't
remember
half
that.
bad because I think there was a game, like there were a couple of games where like she willed us to a victory. It was the whole thing was bizarre. All right, so
Before we go to the men, we have
okay,
Alabama on the 14th. The women play Alabama at home on the 14th.
right,
So,
and don't forget, Bell Smith. He got all types of cool bells. I seen the Thundercats bell that he's
oh man, that was awesome.
yeah,
So,
and you can
and
get the Black Dogs bell. It's only $120. Okay, stop acting broke. Stop acting poor.
and then the thing is, I haven't forgot we're gonna do the drawing for the prizes. Arthur, I need you to confirm it right now. Are you gonna give away the bill, or are you gonna give it, or you gonna whoever wins it,
No habla inglés.
you're gonna give away
No
$80,
habla inglés.
I'll make up the half for them to get the bill.
No habla inglés.
Come
Okay.
on, man.
Ni ni govori angliski. Okay.
All right, Alabama.
Ni govori angliski.
Alabama. Who wins, us or them?
Us.
Yeah, I'm picking us also. So I don't think the Alabama women have enough talent to even play on the quote us when we're at our best.
I
So
mean, Alabama gonna be Alabama. Ah,
as long as we ain't playing them in football,
I shouldn't say that. The Browns gonna be the Browns.
you know what? I hope the Browns get skull drug this Sunday. So
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like the Kansas City Chiefs have not been annoying like a lot of teams that win the championship. And like the Warriors, once they won the championship, they became some a-holes. But the Chiefs have been pretty cool. So
oh yeah, yeah.
I don't feel a lot of if they repeated, I wouldn't particularly care.
It helps to have our maroon bulldogs on the squad too, huh?
Exactly. Exactly. Even though the Tennessee Titans got put out because they just didn't show up, but whatever.
All
Okay.
right, so
So
ready to move over to the men.
who I don't, I'm delivered. I'm delivered. I don't like men's no more. I like women's. Okay. So are we looking for a 3-game winning streak against Texas A&M, which this whole thing has been really bizarre because they lost to Kentucky, who was just complete garbage this year, and then they turned around. Then they turned around and beat like
Missouri
Missouri,
blew them
who was
out.
in the top 25, and I was like, what? Because in the games where we lost, we looked really bad, and so I'm just like, huh? So is Missouri that bad? Or are we actually pretty good? And then we had this ragtag group of players. But at the same time, I've always said that even we had Lamar Peters and all the rest of those guys, the team always lacked cohesion. Like they just look like a bunch of guys out there playing. So who knows, because we just all knew that the team was gonna be garbage and we were back to the Rick Ray days. So
Yeah, surprise, surprise. 3-1 in the SEC.
we might be back to the Stansbury days. Who knows?
I would
So
love
I
to see that.
mean, whatever. All right. So what you looking forward to this, Derek?
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like Texas A&M is not going to be to hang with us. I mean, if we play our best, and basically our best is Iverson Molinar, 20 points, DJ Stewart, 20 points. Those two are our leaders. But you also have to look out for Tolu Smith now. He gives you that banger inside, that's gonna score in the paint and also get rebounds. And ever since Jalen Johnson has been inserted into the starting lineup, I mean, he has been monster for us, because he was coming off the bench at one point. You had Cameron Matthews starting. Really, he shouldn't have been starting. Jalen Johnson should have been starting all season. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a three. He gives you another shooter on the floor. And Cameron Matthews, even though he's a talented freshman, he just isn't ready. You have a battle tested, graduate senior in Jalen Johnson coming over from U of L, and he was languishing on the bench. Now he's starting and you're flourishing. So I really feel like against Texas A&M, it's going to be Iverson Molinar, Tulu Smith, DJ Stewart, and Jalen Johnson are going to be our scorers. Of course, Abdul Ado, just get your rebounds, brother. Don't worry about trying to score. Let the scorer score. Unless you can get those easy putbacks.
Look, man, Jeremiah ain't here to stop me from saying this. I've been trying to call. First of all, Abdul Ado has been at Mississippi State since Rick Ray was the basketball coach. That's the first thing, okay? If I'm not mistaken, he came in the same year as Malik Deer. Not Malik Deer, Malik Newman. I know that's not factually true, but whatever. And I'm going to be frank with you. Have I been tempted to call ice on him a few times? Yes. Okay? I didn't do it, but I gave it strong consideration. I mean, I thought about calling ice on Chloe Bibby also. I don't discriminate, okay? To be honest with you, Charlotte Cole,
man, she's a true freshman, man. You gotta give her time. Man. She's a true freshman.
I give her another year, okay? I give her another year.
No, you at least gotta give her 3 years because she's not starting. She's a role player right now.
Okay, but
Ado and Chloe, they were starters, so you expect more out of them.
I'm gonna give her another year. I'm gonna see where it goes, and if I don't like where it's headed at the end of next season, I'm calling ice, and that's all there is to it. Okay, so I don't know. I'm gonna lie. All right. So what else we got going on with the boys? Because I don't.
Just talk about
All right. Comments on player progress, Lord.
Iverson Molinar. I mean, a big jump from his freshman year to his sophomore season. He had no choice. I mean, all of his classmates left. They transferred. Had no choice but to step up. We missed him those first couple games of the season, but he came back like, man, this is my squad. Yeah, DJ Stewart, I picked him to be the lead dog. Man, you know what? I was somebody that came and took that chain and said, I'm the lead dog. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's been, for the majority of the season since he's been back. They're a great 1-2 punch. Last year, you had Robert Woodard, you had Witherspoon, and you had Perry were the leaders. DJ Stewart, I think he averaged like 8.5 points a game, Modern 5.7. Both of them now are averaging double digits. They are leading this resurgence. Because we were picked 12th in the conference. Right now, we're sitting at 3-1 with a chance to go 4-1. You know what I'm saying? So, behind these two and the group of transfers, it's possible we can make some noise in the SEC, man.
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to point out that as far as player progression is concerned, I want to turn your attention back to Abdul Ado, who, let's see, his freshman season, his field goal percentage was we'll say 62%. Okay, then his sophomore season it was 61. Let's see. Then last year we'll say it was 60% because it was 59. 595. And this year
round it up.
It's 500. So he's getting literally worse as the years go on. Now his free throw percentage is actually going up, so that's good. The number of rebounds is down from last. The rebound average is down from last year. But his assist ratio is a little bit up. So I guess you gotta take the good with the bad. But the amount of points that he's averaging, he averaged 7.8 his freshman season, then 4.7 sophomore, 5.7 last year, and 5.6 this year. So I am not here to say that he had a spark when he started, but now he just garbage. But if you said it, I wouldn't disagree. Let's just
So
put
do
it
you
that way.
so do you think we should make any lineup change? You think Adu should move to the bench and let um um Tolu Smith start at center and Javian
It,
Davis start at power
it
forward?
literally couldn't be any worse. But right now, I would say that we winning, so
Roll with the
maybe
roll what we got.
maybe his veteran leadership is, maybe it's something he has intangibles. Maybe it's one of those things like Danny Green. Wait, that was it? No, Danny Granger when he was with the Pacers, where he wasn't playing so well, but he was the glue that held the
Mhm.
team together. And the game is starting, but F it. So let's go ahead to our last topic, which is Zach Arnett. Okay, so Zach Arnett, real popular guy. A lot of people looking at him. Texas, South Carolina, LSU showing interest. So, what do you think about the fact that a lot of teams are interested in our coach? And if he leaves, who is on your short list? Which I know you did an article for Maroon and White Nation on
Right. Well,
the subject.
that was kind of fun. I didn't really take a super serious, point of view on that because like some of the guys that I had on that list were kind of like Mississippi State fan wish list. But Zach Arnett, I mean, we know what he did at San Diego State. You know, we saw what he did this year. The only
Or
team
like
to
what
really
he
just
did at Syracuse.
no, he didn't coach at Syracuse last year. We stole him from Syracuse. He was going to be the defensive coordinator at Syracuse, and then we hired him away after he agreed to take the job. So he was coaching at San Diego State. You know what I'm saying? Then with the Syracuse, then we stole him. And the defense has been a bright spot all season long, even with guys opting out, losing people to COVID, even with the terrible safety play with all the opt outs. So the defense still, played well enough to keep us in games. So he runs a 3-3-5. Look, I really didn't think LSU was going to move to a 3-3-5. LSU is a 3-4 squad. They need a defensive coordinator who's going to run the 3-4. You know, um, so I really don't think they were going to hire him, but it's still kind of scary because we know LSU has the money. They have the money to pay what we can't. So I would love to see Zach Arnett stay because it gives us some stability at the defensive coordinator position. But if he did leave, you know, um, the first person I would look at would be his replacement at San Diego State. Now that was something that I felt we could do. We went to the well once at San Diego State, maybe Kurt Maddox. A dream would be Lovey Smith. Don't think Lovey Smith is going to want to be a defensive coordinator after being a head coach at Illinois, even though he didn't have a winning record. But I feel like Lovey Smith's going to go back to the NFL. But if he did want to stay at the college level, if he had an interest in coming to Mississippi State, if you were to add someone with Lovey Smith's credentials to our staff, right away, that's going to bring talented players because of who Lovey Smith is. Now, that would be an awesome wish granted if he wanted to be defensive coordinator. But really, some of the fans said Chris Richard, former defensive coordinator for the Seahawks. Another fan mentioned Charlie Strong. Those are all good candidates. What's the guy? I can't remember his name. How I forget his name? His son is going to be playing baseball for Mississippi State. He's the defensive coordinator for Florida.
Todd Grantham.
Todd Grantham. Todd Grantham. Would he want to come back to Starkville? Because our defense was good under him. So, I mean, I, I don't think Zach Arnett's going to leave, but like you don't really want to start defensive coordinator flirting with all these teams that could outpay you, or pay more than you can pay. you know, and he in year one, because our defense was pretty good. Granted, we are losing a lot of the front seven. They are graduating. Arrow, Marquise, Kobe, all gone. You know what I'm saying? We do return creme brulee. Nathaniel Watson's coming back. You know, Nathan Pickering is probably going to be back. Crumedy is going to be back. Jordan Davis is going to be back. Tyrese Reese is going to be back. So we have some pieces in that front seven, and of course the corners, Emerson and Forbes. Two stud corners. Another name that I would like to see if Arnett leaves, and I was told that this guy may not even want to be defensive coordinator. He likes coaching defensive backs and recruiting, but Corey Raymond, if he want to be defensive coordinator and Arnett leaves, offer it to him. Yeah, he's at home here in Baton Rouge because he played at LSU. He's from New Iberia, which is about 80 miles down the road. So he's home. But if he has a desire to be defensive coordinator, I can't hurt to bring in someone who has helped LSU maintain that DBU moniker. But like I said, I was talking to someone today, close to the LSU program, says Corey Raymond may not want to be defensive coordinator. But if he did and Arnett leaves, I would love to see Corey Raymond coaching our defense.
Okay. So when you were talking about the guy going to get the guy who's at San Diego State right now,
Kurt Maddox,
for whatever reason, it made me think about USM and how USM, for whatever reason, has a habit of hiring, or at one point, they 3 out of 4 of their they had 4 consecutive coaches where 3 out of the 4 had been offensive coordinators at Oklahoma State. Like pretty much the best coaches in their history were all offensive coordinators at Oklahoma State before they got to USM. Jeff Bauer, Larry Fedora, and Todd Monken were all OCs at Oklahoma State before they got to USM. And I that's like a weird pipeline to me. Like, how does something like that even happen? But maybe that's an idea. I would say that Jamar Chaney. Is he
he was
ready
on my
yet?
list.
I don't know. Is he ready yet? I don't know. But I think it would be cool.
I had
I think they
Curry on
pulled
my
out
list
a man.
also. I had Dwayne Curry on my list also.
Yeah, and the thing with somebody like with Jamar Chaney is the question would be like, okay, we think that he's headed in that general direction, so do we let him do it now, or do we, and so we don't run the risk of losing him down the line, or do we let him get a little bit more season on first? I don't know. But you know who my pick is for DC.
Who?
Well, you know who I'm gonna say. Now he is
No,
the
I don't.
head coach at the University of Miami right now,
Hell,
but
nah,
he's
man, you
gonna
about to
get
make me
fired
cuss.
any moment now.
Man, no.
What?
No, 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 not Manny Diaz, bro.
What's wrong
Not
with
for a
Manny
third
Diaz?
time.
What about is Jeff Collins available? Because he should be getting fired from Georgia Tech at
You
any
know
moment.
some. A name that I left out. That if he does want to coach, because he's been a head coach. He was just a former head coach at USM. Um, Hobson. He would be a good defensive coordinator.
Huh? I
He
won't
would
argue that.
he'll be a good defensive coordinator. So
He ain't got fired.
if
Oh.
well, no, he resigned. I mean, that
No,
whole staff's
I'm
gone.
tired of Jeff Collins. I'm like, he got
Not
fired.
yet. Not yet.
I mean, his record is 6-16.
Uh,
He tripped me out because he was an excellent defensive coordinator when he was at State. Was Jeff Collins the guy who was co-defensive
uh-huh.
coordinators with that
It was
black guy
Jeff
who
Collins
crashed?
and I cannot remember his name.
Wherever he
It's
was, he
on the tip
sucked.
of my tongue. He was the defensive. Collins was the linebackers coach, and the other guy was defensive line coach.
Yeah,
It'll come
but
to me. It'll come to him in a minute. Also, Mr. Stringer said we just had our 21st portal transfer. No team has had this many defections.
Oh well. Wait a second. It's another guy that I'm thinking about. He played football for like the Tennessee Titans or something like that. Think he was at like USC or something like that. He came to state, and then he left state and went to Louisville right before we got Todd Grantham.
No, 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 no. I know who you talking about. Nuh-uh. Peter Sermon. Uh-uh. Hell no.
What's wrong
He
with Peter
he
Sermon?
can go coach defense at Ole Miss though.
So wait a second. Peter Sermon. Matter of fact, he's a defensive coordinator for the Cal Bears, which makes sense actually. Oh goodness. Yeah. I remember he played for the Tennessee Titans. I used to play with him on video game stuff. Yeah, back when Steve McNair was there. Anyway, wait a second. Let me turn on the game right quick while y'all bull jabbing on Nation. Let me see. I'm gonna tell y'all what the score is in case y'all watching us or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Already ate. I had some spaghetti or whatever, but still. What we got going on in the chat?
Trey Adcock, what you mean no? Oh, he's saying no to Peter Sermon too. Nobody want Peter Sermon back here, bruh. We don't want Manny Diaz back here either. No. Those two guys, no.
Where's Joe Lee Dunn?
Hey, I'll take Joe Lee. Bring him out of retirement. As long as he blitzes safe, damn it.
Joe Lee Dunn. Okay, what channel is this game on?
I think it's on the SEC network.
SEC network. I got this Hulu bull crap. I just been signing up with different email accounts for the last few weeks.
You bumming the ESPN, man?
Oh well.
Where's my app?
Do I really feel like paying $40 for Sling TV just so I can watch Mississippi State athletics? There we go. Let's see. I want to watch it live. This thing is so freaking clunky. Okay. So as we go talk about the insurrection at the Capitol, or we gonna leave that alone?
Nah, let's leave that alone, man. Let's let that go. You know. Let that go.
The South will rise again. Oh goodness.
We need to be safe, man. All these rumors of armed gatherings at capitals. You know, I'm in the capital city of Louisiana. You in my hometown, the capital city of Mississippi.
Brown Bottom.
Why this thing keep tripping, man?
All right. Anyway, wait a second.
We can get ready to wrap up though.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. So, why is Harrison Molinar wearing these? Anyway, so questions that need answers. Will what his name is? Juju Smith-Schuster sign back to the Steelers. Will James Harden lose weight? Are there enough basketballs to go around in Brooklyn? When Kyrie Irving return back to the Nets after protesting social injustice? I don't know. You know, will the Browns be the Browns this weekend? Okay.
Yes.
Will the basketball team, kind of get their life together? These questions and more answered on the next Black Dog Sports Podcast. And bye.